All right. Good morning, lovelies. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living Love Stream, the December 6th edition. All right. My name is Travis Hogue, and I'm your love stream angel this morning. Uh, uh, we will be. We'll be having a great time this morning. Gina DiGirolamo has the day off and we'll be back next week. So we send our love and appreciation out to you, Gina D. All right, lovelies, feel free to start a watch party if you're watching on Facebook or share this stream with your friends. We're also simulcasting on YouTube. So if you're watching there, hello. Please put a comment in there, say hello. We're so grateful for our musical inspiration this morning, our dear friend Laura Berman, who I'll bring in. Reverend Elizabeth and Charlie Carlin will be joining us shortly. So I'm going to bring Laura into the stream now. Hello, Laura. And
Good morning.
good morning to you. Laura is going to start us off with some prelude music, and so take it away.
Thanks, Travis. Come as you are. Yeah. Guess there's no other way to live. Shadows and victory, wrapped up in his story. I am more than the skin I am in. I am more. Triumph and dignity make for a mystery. We are more than the skin we are in. We are more. And I will join you there. We all come from somewhere. Eyes that see know all is fair. We all come from somewhere. Come as you are. Come as you are. Every living soul has traveled far. Come as you are. Heartache and tragedy, they are calls that deliver me. I am more than the skin I am in. I am more. And I will join you there. We all come from somewhere. Eyes that see know all is fair. We all come from somewhere. Come as you are. Come as you are. Every living soul has traveled far. You can come as you are. Ooh, I know, every living soul has traveled far, so we can come as we are. Yeah. And I will join you there. We all come from somewhere. Eyes that see know all is fair. We come from somewhere. We all come from somewhere. Come as you are. Come as you are. Come as you are. Come as you
Oh, yes. Come as you are. Thank you, Laura. Laura Berman, everyone. We're so grateful to have you with us again today. Oh, yes. Beautiful. So, hello, friends. Welcome to the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. I'm so grateful that you joined us today. Again, my name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And we have an affirmation that Travis will put on the screen for us, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I love and approve of myself exactly as I am.
I love and approve of myself exactly as I am.
I embrace the shadow and reclaim my highest good.
I embrace the shadow and reclaim my highest good.
And so it is.
And so,
Yes. And so now we will turn it over to my wonderful husband and our music director and today's producer, Travis.
woo-hoo! All right. All right. So I'm going to bring Laura into the stream here, and I'm going to read a little bit from her illustrious bio. Singer and songwriter Laura Berman has reached acclaim for her soul-touching vocal style and honest lyrical poetry. As many of you know, Laura was singer-songwriter in the New York City music scene when first introduced to the Science of Mind teachings in 2002. She sang backup for the Grammy Award-winning Enya on the David Letterman show when she was first getting started in the New York City music scene. During that time, she also had a featured song in the children's film and accompanying soundtrack of Clifford's Really Big Movie. That's right. Shortly after singing at her first Sunday service at a CSL in Morristown, New Jersey, she began writing songs to support the new leg of her musical and spiritual journey and to support the growth and healing of congregations nationwide. Ain't that the truth? Laura has 5 studio albums to date and has performed alongside Reverend Michael Beckwith at Agape International Spiritual Center, at Mile High Church in Denver, and with authors Neil Donald Walsh and Marianne Williamson. As we all began to shelter in place earlier in 2020, Laura started writing new songs, deepening her spiritual practices and stepping into a vision she has had for several years. Sabbath Queen. That's right, a musical and inspirational experience that brings together the rituals and prayers of her Jewish upbringing with songs and Laura's own unique spin and wisdom on day-to-day life experiences. For more information on Sabbath Queen, songs and videos, you can visit her website at laurabermanmusic.com, and I'm going to put that right here in the stream here. Other ways you can connect with Laura is on Facebook and Instagram. You can find her on Instagram at Laura B Sings, where you're going to see the tagline, "Love is the way." And I love that. I love your photos and how you express yourself on Instagram. And certainly, it is my honor now to welcome back to our Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living community the fabulous Sabbath Queen herself, Laura Berman. Take it away. All right.
Thank you, Travis. I'm so grateful to be back with you this morning. You really do feel like my family. So I thought we could set up for Reverend Elizabeth's talk by creating more space within ourselves, and we can just sing this chant prayer. I am open, I am open, I am open to receive the God in you and me. So let's sing that together. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive the God in you and me. The God in you and me. am open. I am open. I am open to receive the God in you and me. I am open to receive. I am open. I am open. Yeah. I am open. I am open to receive the God in you and me. I am open. Yeah. I am open. I am open to receive the God in you and me. You are open. Let's know that for ourselves and each other. You are open. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the God in you and me. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the God in you and me. Now we're going to have our big finish. We are open. We are open to receive. We are open. We are open. Yeah. We are open to receive the God in you and me. We are open. We are open. We are open to receive the God in you and me. We are open to receive the God in you and me. The God, the love, the peace, yeah. The God in you and me. We are open to the God in you and me.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Laura. We'll bring you back into the stream in just a second. But for right now, I'll say welcome. Hello, CSL. That's right. Double duty this morning. I am your announcements angel as well. I will now read our mission statement. With everything we do, we aim to raise the vibe. We teach innovative spiritual practices and principles that inspire deeper love of self and others, transformation, a closer relationship with God, freedom from suffering, expansive joy, prosperity, and healing of the body, mind, and spirit. We are a conscious group of positive, inspired, spiritually motivated individuals transforming lives. We just happen to have a spiritual center. Want to check us out? Yeah. All right. And now, as it is at the first Sunday of every month, we sing birthday song to all the December birthdays this month, and we're bringing Laura back in to sing birthdays for everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, beautiful, wonderful God creatures. Happy birthday, many blessings to you.
Beautiful. Thank you. I know one birthday in December, two. Father Don Rowley, Elizabeth's father, and BJ. Anybody else have birthdays? You want to put it in the comment section, and we'll bring them up during the announcements. Thank you so much, Laura. We'll bring you back in just a few moments. All right. And I will continue with our announcements. First up, I would like to say save the date. We've got a holiday Zoom party coming up, live music, meditation, sacred readings, and prayer Friday, December 18th at 6:30 p.m. More information coming soon in our e-news, and you can check back on Facebook for any updates there as well. We also build our immunity in spiritual community. So you want to join us for a spiritual connection call on Zoom Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, plus every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Once again, this is on Zoom, and you can find the link in our Facebook page under events. And here's a little reminder. We're going to be doing a vision board sharing during the call on the 28th of December. So you want to create your vision board before the 28th, and then you can bring it to share on the connection call on that day at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We want to give a shout out to our facilitator volunteers, Karen Robert and Mama Jody and Reverend Elizabeth. Okay, next up, I want to do a little bit of let's see. Are we on? Oh yeah, raise and praise on all of our Giving Tuesday donors. We raised $2,000, which will be matched by Facebook, and we'll receive confirmation of that in January 2021. So thank you. We want to raise and praise all of the generous donors. That's great. Next week, we have our amazing musical inspiration will be Jesse Powers. Awesome. Woohoo. And then we also have a grief group facilitated by Reverend Diane Davison. These are in progress and are at full capacity right at the moment. So no more registrations are being accepted. Just wanted you to know that there's some community activities happening. Also, we have our YouTube channel. So some of you are watching on the simulcast on YouTube right now or watching a replay. We send our love out to you. If you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, and then you can get notifications of when the streams are happening and when the content is being sent through YouTube. So that's great. We also have Amazon Smile. So Amazon donates a small portion of your eligible Amazon Smile purchases to the charitable organization of your choice. And I would invite you now to please consider adding the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living as your charitable organization. You can do so by going to our website and clicking on Contribute to a Higher Vision, and then scroll down to the middle of the page. And if you have any questions, you can send me a direct message, and I'd be happy to help you through the process of signing you up. It costs you no money, and it benefits our center greatly. And lastly, if you are able, please remember to continue to donate to our center during this unique time. Our operations are fully supported by your generosity, and we're looking forward to gathering at our physical center in the future. You can donate here on Facebook Live with the donate button, and I'll provide the PayPal link to donate in the comment section. You can also visit our landing page and click on the donate link at the center of our webpage, ccccsl.org. I want to thank you for your consideration. We love you. We miss you, and we're looking forward to getting back into our physical location in Templeton. And with that, my beloveds, has been the announcements. We are finished. I'm going to bring Reverend Elizabeth back into the stream. Here we go.
Hey, wow, what a great announcement angel you are, Travis. All right, friends, I would like to remind you that if there is something that is weighing heavy on your heart for which you would like prayer for, or maybe there's something you're looking to manifest in your life, please send your prayer requests to info@ccccsl.org. You can see the banner across the bottom of the screen here. And the prayer team will pray over these prayers for you for the next week. And that team consists of myself, Reverend Diane Davison, our Assistant Spiritual Director, and Maria Bucaro and Jeff Tucker, who are outreach practitioners. And now I would love to turn it over to Charlie for the wonderful Science of Mind reading. Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here. This week, my title is The Power of Love. One of my favorite reminders comes from Neville Goddard, who in his book, The Awakened Imagination, states, "You illuminate or darken your life by the ideas to which you consent." So I ask you, to what ideas do you consent? This seems quite worthy of contemplation, deep contemplation. So what's rolling around in your consciousness? As the sun dissolves darkness, so love conquers hate. Perfect love casts out fear. Love is the center of reality, the heart of the universe, and love will ultimately win and vanquish every foe. Ernest Holmes states, "Never let anything cause you to doubt your ability to demonstrate the truth." So, when we're reminded that what you think about comes about, this is not just a catchphrase. It is recognizing the power of thought, the power of your word, and the power of your consciousness. It is a reminder of your connection to the power that is being used by all of us with every thought. Every thought. The only person who knows anything about love is the person who loves. Every act of human affection and love, of generous giving and receiving, of kindly relationships with others, is an extension of the spirit of life flowing through us. Life is a great giver, and each one of us is a distributor. So, simply stated, change your thinking, change your life. And so it is.
And so it is. How wonderful. Thank you so much, Charlie. I don't know about you all, but I am feeling the love. Are you feeling that love? Oh, I'm so grateful for all that you bring to our center, Charlie. Now, let's take a moment to turn our attention inward and go into prayer. Allow the sound of this bowl to take you deeper within. Oh, yes. And from that deep space within, it's the space where I absolutely remember and know with every fiber of my being that God is all that there is. There is but one thing happening here and now, and it is source energy. It is the spirit itself that has breathed each one of us into existence. And here we are together right now on this day, Sunday, December 6th at 10:23 a.m. and at any other time that individuals may be viewing or re-watching this broadcast. And so I'm grateful for the technology today. I'm grateful to know that spirit is the thing that has breathed everything into existence, and I identify with this presence right now. And so join me. I invite you to join me in identifying with the thing itself and knowing that you are as perfect as this one source that made you. And there is so much love that lives within each one of us. And this love is present here today, and it is available, and it is tapping us from the inside, whispering in our ears and reminding us that we are made in its image and likeness, and that there is nothing we cannot do, that anything is possible, and that healing is possible, and wholeness is our birthright. And so as we return to wholeness on this beautiful day, this Sunday, I just give thanks for all of the individuals involved in creating this service, every single one who made it possible today. There are some here and that we are seeing, and there's some that are working or have worked behind the scenes that aren't at the service today. And these people include Gina DiGirolamo and BJ DiGirolamo, and there's Travis Hogue, and there's Charlie Carlin and Laura Berman and Laura's husband, and Reverend Diane for all the love and the support and beauty she brings to our center. And I'm also very grateful in this moment for all of the volunteers who continue to give of their heart throughout the week that may not be seen on Sundays, but they are part of continuing this spiritual connection and spiritual community for all of us. And I'm so grateful for Karen Robert and for Mama Jody Burton and for Travis as our music director, and each and every individual who gives and who has given and who gave generously from their overflow financially on Giving Tuesday last week. We are so blessed. And so in this moment, I feel the blessings bubbling up, and I feel and know and remember on this day and every day going forward that I have within me enough love, enough light, enough wisdom, enough trust, enough faith to move forward and to embrace the shadow and unite in love, wholeness, harmony, and divine perfection. And so I know this service is so blessed and so divinely guided. We are amazing, and it is the best service ever. So thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I release this prayer now knowing it is done, and I invite you to help me anchor this truth by saying with me, and so it is.
I know I've denied it, but now it's my light shining. I can't stop the love I have imagined in me. Through your sight, you give me vision of my life. Then through my eyes, I see your creation in me. When I follow the line of sight, I know I will come alive in the brightest of lights. Believing will lead to seeing. I will be what you know of me, and I will be what you need in me. And when I do, I will see through you. Yes, I see through you. In your love, I dream my very first breath. And I know having faith, oh, is the way to celebrate when I follow the line of sight. lights, your lights. Believing will lead to seeing, and I will be what you know of me. And I will be what you need in me. I am. And when I do, oh, and I will see through you. Yeah. I will see through you, Spirit. Oh, I'll see through you. I'm all that I am, and I know you in what I can be. Oh, and your light, it glows inside me, and it illuminates the road I see when I follow the line of sight. And I know I will come alive in the brightest of lights, and even in my shadow. Believing will lead to seeing. I will be what you know of me. I am what you need. I am. And when I do, and I will see, and I see through you. I see through you. I see through you.
I love that. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Laura Berman, friends. Wow. I see through you. What a great and perfect lead in to the talk that I have for you today, the talk that Spirit has for you today. And so, hello, friends. I would like to introduce myself once again. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I am the spiritual director and senior minister here at the Central Coast Center for Spiritual Living. And the center is located in Templeton, California. And we are broadcasting to you live this morning from San Luis Obispo, from our condo. And Laura and her husband where are Laura and her husband? I can't remember. They're somewhere else.
In Portland.
In Portland, thank you. They are in Portland, and Travis is downstairs. I'm upstairs, and Charlie's in Atascadero. And it's just such a beautiful gift for us all to get to be together, collaborating in the one mind, bringing you this beautiful service. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And so welcome to December. Just like that, it's December. We've been experiencing the outer condition of a pandemic for 9 months now. So we've been in the process of gestation, and so now we're expecting a birth sometime soon, I believe. And the theme for December of this year is celebrating divine truth. and how wonderful it is to have the topic for today be welcoming the shadow. Welcoming the shadow. And so this has been a great experience for me and my communion with the divine, and being open and available to what wants to be spoken through me and the lessons for my own personal journey along the path, right? And so here we are. The reason for this theme and the context is really about what is there for us to learn from the shadow, and what is there for us to learn from the dark of winter or the shadows cast in the heat of summer. What richness lives in those shadow places? And so we're going to be exploring a little bit about that. And I tell you, I had a lot of content, so I had to really pare it down. And so we're going to just jump right in. But as I started working on this talk, I thought it was funny. And every time I think about shadow work, I can't help but hear that 70s song by Andy Gibb that is shadow dancing, baby, blah, blah, blah. I don't know all the words, but I always hear that. And I thought, how fun it would be for any time the shadow rises up in me to have that as the theme song for the shadow. It kind of lessens the sting of it, you know. And then what another song that comes up for me is "Me and My Shadow," you know, the song by Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis. Yeah, that's a great song. Some of the words from that song are so powerful. You'll never get rid of me. We stick together like glue. Whatever happens, we've got us. Ring a ding ding. Yippee doo. And then the last thing I think of are shadow puppets. I discovered years ago that I could do a great Kermit the Frog shadow puppet. So if you want to try that at home to make it fun, I invite you to do so. And then my imagination just goes wild. You know, I was imagining sort of an alternate universe where it's like an Alice in Wonderland type of world. And it's like this land of polarity and opposites where names are read and spoken backwards. Like I'm Hatibazil and Travis is Sivart, and and the shadows are walking the world. And every day we are gifted with the reflection of the light, which is the light of truth. Yes. And we spend our days celebrating this light and celebrating the goodness and magnificence of the brightness of it. And we're letting our radiant good shine, this spiritual magnificence. We're shining it out to all we come in contact with, and those we don't come in contact with. We're just happy to be broadcasting this radiant love and light. We are embodying this sparkling divine light and allowing it to illuminate our souls and our personalities, which are also our egos, that until we are so glowing with radiant spirit that we grin from ear to ear with gratitude and bliss for existing here and now, just as we are. God is so good all the time, and I'm so grateful I'm alive. That's the alternate world. But wait a second. That is very much like this world that I'm currently living in. Right? Am I right about that? Can I get in? And so it is, please. So not just me living in, we're all currently living in this world that is just like that. I am a radiant light of love, shining my light to all. Every now and then, Hebidazil comes out, and it's my invitation to bring her into the light. Bring her into the light, not shove her down into solitary confinement or isolation for the bad, bad person she is. No, no, no. I'm called to love her, to embrace her and say, aren't you so adorable, you cuddly little cute, sweet human being? Oh, yeah. If only we could adopt this way with our shadow, right? Well, that's what I'm committed to doing from this day forward. Now, Science of Mind tells us that we are created in the image and likeness of God, perfect man, perfect woman, perfect being, and God is the light that dissolves all darkness. And we know this is true. However, we run into humans, right? Where there's all these humans. I don't know if you've noticed, we're walking around all over the place. And the humans are sometimes not so perfect, right? And in the spiritually, we are perfect, whole, and complete. And then, we trip, we fall, the shadow comes up, things happen. And so spiritually speaking, we are perfect. And then spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of affirmative prayer, teaches us to look beyond conditions, to align consciousness with the divine pattern of wholeness. Now, when we acknowledge the reality of our life, we learn and discover that we might need some healing. There may be some invisible wounds in our soul, and those invisible wounds are what sort of feed the shadow, and this is where our shadow can come up. Now, there's the ego personality, which is the limiting thoughts that produce errant judgments. And what we want to do is become aware that our individual ego builds up the burden of shadow in our human nature. Now, this is both individually and collectively, right? So there's a whole conversation about the collective shadow. In fact, that was like the 3 pages I had to cut out because we're just talking about, we only have like 30 minutes here, even less now. And so recognizing the shadow, we can shift our negative perception. We can look beyond appearance. We can seek alignment with and remember the spiritual truth of who we are. Seek alignment with the spiritual truth of who we are. And first we remember it, right? So the first point is welcoming the shadow. What does that mean? Well, welcoming the shadow is to become aware of its presence, What is the shadow anyway? Well, I'll begin with shadows. We've all seen them. We've seen the shadows that are the shadows from when you're blocking a light source. So shadows are made by blocking the light. And light travels from its source in straight lines, right? And so there's only a few sources of light. There's the sun, there's light from fires, there's light from lamps. And from those particular sources, they travel in straight lines. And so if an opaque, which is a solid object or material, is placed in front of the path of rays of light that travel in the straight line, those light rays do not travel through that object, but they travel around it, and that creates an outline. And that's why if you're walking and you'll see a shadow, there's an outline, and then the rest is in darkness because it can't shine through the object, right? So an area of darkness appears behind the object, and so thus the shadow is made by blocking the light. Now, within us, we have divine light. We have this divine light, and then we have the shadow of our ego, which is also easier to understand maybe as the shadow of our personality. Now, generally, a repressed shadow is what's happening for most of us because nobody likes to do the shadow work. In fact, nobody really even talks much about shadow work. You've got to go out and search for it. So a lot of us ministers here for Centers for Spiritual Living are quite thrilled about having this actually worked into the outlines in our sermon outlines for the month of December. It's just beautiful. And so light cannot travel through a repressed shadow. Nobody likes doing the work up until now. So here we are, prepared and available to do the work. And I was listening to Deepak Chopra, who reminded me that running from the shadow intensifies its power. And denying the shadow leads to greater suffering, regret, and resignation. Who wants that? Bleh, not me. So the shadow can actually keep us from full self-expression. It can keep us from speaking our truth and from living an authentic life. Now we are called to accept all of who we are, shadow and light, right? Human and divine. They are one thing. So bringing the light of our highest self to the darkness of our human impulses is how we light up the way. Now, until we reel that shadow in and accept it wholly, love it, as I said in the beginning, how adorable, what a sweet little human being, right? Love it wholeheartedly, recognize the gifts that it brings. Until we have done that, we're only living half a life. We're only living half a life. It's what they call being half-baked, right? We are living a half-baked life because there is a part of us that has been cut off and we don't accept it. And so this is what happens for people in 12-step programs. I can say that being one of those people. So the spiritual malady that occurs is there is a part of us that has been cut off, and then there's shame, and then there's this whole downward spiral that occurs of guilt and shame, and then trying to be this other person while this guilt and the shame is pulling us apart, and it's just this opposite pull that's happening, and it creates more suffering. So yeah, wow, right? This is deep stuff, deep work, my friends. So let's stop right here and embrace ourselves and just give ourselves a hug, because whenever we listen to things, we by nature of our awareness, we start to become more available and aware of the different aspects. And so hug yourself right now, please. And know that you are loved and that you are okay. The shadow cannot harm you. The shadow cannot overtake you. It's not the scary monster that you think of. And the reason is because you know who you are. You are a divine light of love. You are magnificent and powerful beyond measure. And you know this. And so knowing this, it's like you know that you have so much God that nothing can harm you. So here we go. Now, everyone has a shadow, right? Everyone. And if anyone out there is saying, oh, I don't have a shadow, I've done all my work, you have the biggest shadow of all. I said it, yes, because you are denying it. And it's the denial and the repression of it that feeds it and makes it grow. And then it comes out when you least expect it, right? And it's not some evil thing. It just is the way that it is. Now, Carl Jung has defined the shadow direct and clear as that what a human being would not want to be. The shadow is the negative side of the personality, the sum of all unpleasant properties or traits that a person wants to hide, the inferior feelings of worthlessness and unworthiness, and the primitive side of human nature, one's own second personality, if you will, or one's own dark side, right? Now, every single person has a shadow. Everything that is material casts a shadow. It is in particular the shadow that makes us human. The less the shadow is incorporated in the conscious human life, the darker and the denser it gets. So you've seen symbolism of the shadow and probably depicted in movies or on TV or read in books, right? There's often a depiction of the shadow as melancholy. There is some concealment or secrecy or death. There's the soul and the supernatural, dreams and ghosts, or the underworld. There's coolness also, and rest on a hot day. All of these are symbolism for the shadow, right? And so We're just going to know that and set it over here as we continue through the rest of the talk today. Now, awareness, I want to move into this next point of awareness of the shadow and of negative projection. So this is powerful, and I'm going to give you some examples of this, my friends. And these are projection of the shadow examples that I'm going to share with you. There's, I think there's like maybe 10 of them, and it's powerful. So remember, the shadow tells us to ignore our own weaknesses and project them onto others. Now, obviously, it's not telling us that consciously. It's happening on an unconscious level, right? And it does this to avoid feeling not good enough. And so to avoid feeling not good enough, we see others around us as not good enough. And it becomes then a defense that we have to avoid looking inward. Instead of looking inward, we look out and we might see problems here, there, and everywhere. But that is just a distraction from what's happening in here. Because once we get right on the inside, everything else begins to appear differently, right? So the shadow creates a false sense of acceptance. And so doing that with judging other people, it's like, well, I'm okay, but you're not okay, or something like that, right? Now we've got to have true acceptance. This is what we're going for, because when you are truly okay with yourself, there is no need to label anyone else as not okay. No need at all. And so the first characteristic, the first shadow trick is superiority. And so superiority sounds like, I know that I'm better than you. You should see this and acknowledge it. But when in superiority, it's disguising the feeling that one is a failure, or feeling like others would reject you if they knew who you really were. The second one is injustice. The one that says, oh, it's unfair that these things are happening to me. I don't deserve this. It's so unfair. This actually disguises the feeling of sinfulness, like the feeling that you've sinned, or the sense that you are always the one to blame. Maybe you are always the scapegoat. So claiming an injustice, it's unfair that these bad things are happening to me, is really disguising that feeling. The third is arrogance. With arrogance comes, I'm too proud to bother with you. I'm just too proud. Your very presence irritates me. And then that is actually disguising bottled up anger. There's bottled up anger, and beneath that anger is deep-seated pain. Deep-seated pain. And so the fourth is defensiveness. Defensiveness goes like this. You're attacking me, so I'm not listening. La, 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 right? That's one of my shadow that comes up a lot. So that actually disguises the feeling that you are unworthy and weak. That unless you defend yourself from others, you may start attacking yourself. The fifth one is blame. I didn't do anything. It's all your fault. I didn't do that. That wouldn't have happened if not for you. And that is disguising the feeling that you are at fault and you should be ashamed of yourself. And the sixth is idealizing others. So idealizing others looks like, well, my father was like a god when he was little, or my mother was the best in the world, or the man I marry will be my hero. This disguises the feeling that you are feeling weak, or you're a helpless child who needs protection and taken care of. And the seventh is prejudice. So in prejudice, there's the voice that sounds like this. He's one of them, and you know what they're like. Or be careful, their kind is dangerous. This disguises the feeling that you are inferior and deserve to be rejected. The 8th is jealousy. So jealousy can come out like you're thinking of betraying me. One might think that someone is considering betraying them and they can just see it. And this disguises one's own impulse to stray or a sense of inadequacy. And then there's paranoia. Paranoia is they're out to get me, or I can see the conspiracy here that nobody else sees. This actually disguises deep-seated, overwhelming anxiety, right? So these are all ways that the shadow is projected out, and those feelings are the feelings that we aren't paying attention to. And the feelings are the things that we want to embrace and be the adult in this like child adult relationship, the shadow spiritual being, highest self in the shadows. So being the one that's like, you are loved, and working through, if there's underlying anger, working through the anger and being not afraid. That anger could even just be an old tape that's playing that you still have, that the shadow is operating on. And it's doing so because it served you at some point. Like it actually helped you survive. It helped you to not have to feel the pain of whatever it was that was experienced, that was created years and years ago or whenever it was, right? And another beautiful thing I love about looking at these projections is the opportunity to see others now. If you see others projecting something, you get a feeling and a sense of what they might be going through. And you can see, rather than getting irritated or annoyed by someone's shadow coming up, you can really come from a heart-based place. You can come from compassion and empathy and love and see, oh, this person is actually feeling like a failure. And so how can you be in the space of that and love the person exactly as they are? And this is a vital tool for us because I think starting tonight, California, specifically San Luis Obispo County, here where we live and where our center is going back into shelter in place, or really restricting. I'm not sure exactly what the limitations are called now, but yeah, it's changing again, and we're locking down a little more to again stop the spread of COVID-19. And so some would say, well, what is COVID-19? Well, COVID-19 is a product of the shadow, right? I spoke about the individual shadow, and then there is the collective shadow. And so it's also part of this life that we are living. Collective shadow occurs in every group situation that there is, right? You've got your collective family shadow, you've got your collective shadow at your job, you've got your collective shadow at your spiritual community, even. Like, who knew that, right? And so it's a beautiful opportunity for us to see the way that we are projecting shadow onto others. And it's really can be a painful gate, because what you see as faults in others is masking what you really feel about yourself. If there's anything that I've said this whole day, that's probably the gist of this whole talk, right? Or this whole section on projection. What you see as faults in others masks what you feel about yourself. Oh, man, what a huge sense of responsibility. But once again, it's okay because we know who we are. We are divine beings of light and love. And wow, there is enough light, there is enough spiritual magnificence to dissipate that and to recreate my own emotional body in a way that is spiritually mature, in a way that is emotionally mature, in a way that allows me to be responsive to experiences and situations in my life rather than being reactive. Ooh, I know I've got work to do on that. I don't know about y'all. So, consciously dealing with the shadow, I'm going to speed this along. It's already 11 o'clock. See, I did not have time to talk more about collective shadow. But to consciously deal with the shadow, which can become this downward spiral, is A, stop projecting. So, in order to stop projecting, you see what you're doing, contact the feeling hidden beneath the surface, and make peace with that feeling. So, stop projecting. The moment you notice the projection is the moment to contact the feeling beneath it to dissolve it, okay? Be accepting of yourself, my friends. Tell yourself you had a valid reason for holding on to negativity. You had no choice because it was secretly deposited and then remained hidden. You did nothing wrong. Your old feelings just got stuck around, and it stuck there to protect you from having that same wound repeated. Make peace with it now, and you have turned that negative into a positive, right? The second is detach and let go. Detach and let go. Tell yourself you can get through this. It will not last forever. And tell yourself that you know how to center yourself. You've got this. Number 3, give up self-judgment. Say to yourself, it's all right. I understand. Number 4 is rebuild your emotional body. Anytime you have a negative emotion, you can replace it with something new. This is rebuilding your emotional body. Visualize what your new emotional body is like. This means maybe you visualize becoming more whole, or learning to be resilient, or dispelling the darkness of your past, or healing old wounds. Maybe it's expecting the best and highest for yourself, or maybe it's all of these, right? And maybe it's learning self-acceptance and self-love, communicating with the God of your understanding, whatever it is. Visualize that, imagine it, and implement that in your life. And as you do these 4 things, you are returning to wholeness. That shadow is no longer a split off part. It's no longer a repressed thing that cannot come into wholeness and radiate the love that lives within you. You are one magnificent, powerful being of light and love. And God wouldn't change one thing about you, and neither would I. And so I love the quote, and the author escapes me at this moment, but the quote is, "Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future." This really speaks to the shadow. So whenever we block the light guiding our life, we create a shadow. Only when we are transparent and in alignment with the source of light, as when the sun is directly overhead, does the shadow magically disappear. And so the shadow for us is not going to disappear. The power that it has over us dissipates, right? And so we can be responsive and not reactive. Now, I want to share an experience that I had of a shadow, and then we'll close with prayer. And so it feels like it's not going to be complete until I share something that actually really happened for me. And this just happened on Friday. Now, Travis, I was off on Friday, and Travis and I went for a walk, and we crossed the street, and we were going to go on this awesome hike. We were so excited, and I missed a step, and I fell hard, and I fell hard on this cobblestone pebble cement. My phone went flying. Why did I have my phone in my hand? You might be asking yourself. Yeah, that's a great question. But what happened for me was just before that, Travis was pointing out this solar panel on the roof of the house we were passing by and this cylinder and asking me what I thought that was. And then he pointed at a metal cupboard. And at the same time, my mom was texting me. We had been trying to coordinate picking up a cake for my dad's birthday, which was yesterday. Happy birthday, Dad. Love you. And in that moment, I was not present at all. And I missed the step. And so it was a step up. And as I said, it was that cobblestone, pebbly stuff, right? And so, boom, I think I ended up bracing my left knee with my right knee. And as a result, I kind of skidded a little. And oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. And so, immediately after that, though, my shadow appeared. The shadow just came right up and it said to Travis, it said to him, you shouldn't have been distracting me. And so what I was doing was blaming him, right? I was unconsciously blaming him for that spill. But he didn't do the shadow dance with me, thankfully. He honored and respected me and knew that I was already hurting and assessed the situation and came from the most loving place. And later I realized, oh my gosh, I totally just projected blame onto him rather than take responsibility for myself, And so I was able to come to a place of responsibility. I knew in my heart of hearts that I was looking around and looking at my phone and rather than focusing on what was happening right in front of me. And so that is a way that the shadow can come up, right? And for those of you that don't think you have the shadow in your life, well, I would encourage you to speak with your loved ones, your partner, and I'm sure that our shadows have come up a lot more during the pandemic and staying at home. But we're called to be loving, like Travis was so loving with me on that, right? And we can be that for ourselves. We can be so loving for ourselves and those shadow places. So let's pray. We're kind of gone over a little bit here. Let's take that into this beautiful, expansive space within. And in this space, I know that there is only one thing happening here and now, and it is the divine. The spirit that lives within me is the very same spirit that lives within all. And I'm so grateful in this moment to identify with this presence, because as I identify with it, I become it. And I already know that I am made in the image and likeness of it. And so I can joyfully and willingly and blissfully step into it like a new outfit. I can just step into this outfit of goodness that has been waiting for me for all of eternity. It is like my celestial outfit that I have said yes to. And as I step into it and become it, I've identified with the thing itself, and I remember there is no separation. There is nowhere that God is not. Everything is made new right in this moment. I am whole. I am perfect. I am complete exactly as I am. There is no part of me that needs to be guilty or ashamed. I let that go in this moment, and I embrace myself, and I embrace myself for the experiences that created that in my life, and know that that has no power over me. What I focus on, what I tune into from this day and every moment going forward is the divine light that lives within me. And as a result, I shine and I continue to bloom and blossom in all that I think and all that I say and in all that I do. And I know that as I do so, bliss is mine. The right and perfect relationship is already mine. It's already here, and I am living into it. I've stepped into the outfit of my good, and the universe has said yes. And now it's up to me to put one foot in front of the other and say yes to my prosperity, yes to my bliss, yes to my peace, yes to my connection and freedom, liberation. Oh, Right and perfect health are mine now. And I'm talking about health and body, mind, and spirit. So thank you, Spirit, for all of these gifts and so much more. I give thanks. I'm so grateful for the love that is occurring here and know that it creates a ripple. It creates the most beautiful ripple that goes out into the world. And others are touched by this ripple, others that are in our immediate orbit and beyond the great beyond. And so thank you, Spirit. I relax into absolute appreciation and love for all that is and all that is yet to be. As I release this prayer, knowing it is totally done, I take my hands off of it and allow it to be. And so it is.
Amen. My keyboard. So many amazing nuggets of wisdom there. I'm so grateful. The timing was perfect for me to hear that talk. Thank you, Reverend Elizabeth. I love this life. I love this feeling. And I stepped into it knowing that's always been. There's nothing greater or more beautiful to be this whole with gratitude. And heartbreak makes room for love inside me. My faith all the way from now until filled as high as it goes, fused inside my soul, this lovely heart. Yeah. A while ago, in my eyes, there wasn't a bright side. I wasn't too, yeah, well, life had a longing, and so it was. The fire melted my heart into one, and a heartbreak makes room for love inside me. My faith, all the way from now until filled as high as it goes, fused inside my soul. And marry me to your love, this great love, yeah. Marry me to your love, oh. Kisses made of light, and the shadow. Marry me to your lovely heart, to your lovely heart.
Wow. What perfect songs that you had, all of them today. Thank you. Friends, it is now time for our gifts, tithes, and offerings, and we will not be passing the basket. We are passing the virtual basket. And so you can donate with the donate button on Facebook, or you can go to paypal.me/CCCSL love and make your donation. And there's no amount too small. We appreciate all that you give and all that you are. And our offering affirmation is going to be up on the screen. Please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world
It does great work in the world
and returns to me multiplied abundantly.
and returns to me multiplied abundantly.
And so it is.
So it is.
Woohoo! Okay, friends, and won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that we ever need do is turn within, and it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationships.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it
Just the way that it is.
just the way that it is
And just the way that it is not.
and just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo!
I love you guys. Marry me to your love.
Yeah.
Marry me to your love, a great love. Oh yeah, kisses made of light of life. Marry me to your lovely heart, to your lovely heart. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the Zoom meeting. If you come by for coffee and conversation, we love you, Laura Berman. Thank you so much, Charlie, and all of our other volunteer angels. And you, our beautiful, blessed community. Peace and blessings.